For gangster movie connoisseurs, the current landscape of Hollywood cinema looks like a barren, uninhabited wasteland. The gangster film, or movies about gangs and organized crime, have graced our screens ever since the earliest days of cinema, when guys like Edward J. Robinson, James Cagney, and Paul Mooney captivated audiences with their charismatic displays in films like Little Caesar, Angels with Dirty Faces, The Public Enemy, and the original Scarface. There has always been something about the gangster film that draws us, and they remained ever relevant and undying, unlike, say, the Western, which went the way of the dodo. After the 30s, we got films like White Heat and Machine Gun Kelly, until the genre hit the stratosphere during the Hollywood New Wave with Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather. The subsequent 3 decades would spoil gangster movie fans, flooding us with classics like Scarface, Donnie Brasco, Goodfellas, Once Upon a Time in America, Casino, Carlito's Way, Mean Streets, Miller's Crossing, and so much more. But since the turn of the century, and especially in recent years, really gangster films have been less frequent, a lot more spaced out, and to be honest, not very good. Don't get me wrong, there have been some great additions to the genre like American Gangster, The Departed, Road to Perdition, and Eastern Promises. But when compared to the 70s up to the 90s, it feels like Hollywood has fallen out of love with the gangster movie. Audiences find themselves increasingly looking to foreign films or to television to quench their organized crime thirst. And the scarcity of the genre even prompted a meta-element to Martin Scorsese's The Irishman, considered something of a swan song to the gangster movie, a film in which he gathered much of the old guard out from the wilderness to give us one last great mob picture, a film in which even the characters are all old, past their prime and nearing the end, much like the genre itself. There have been a few films here and there, The Many Saints of Newark, the prequel to The Sopranos, a Meyer Lansky biopic starring Harvey Keitel, and a small little film called The Outfit with Mark Rylance. But the problem is with most gangster films these days is that they just aren't very good. And with a lot of them, it's that you have to seek them out to be made aware of their existence rather than they be big events as they once were in the past. Anyway, please excuse my lamentation. The reason why I made this video was to actually talk about Wise Guys, a new crime film which is set to be released next year. Evidently, Robert De Niro is not quite done with the genre as he will headline the movie and he is joined by the likes of Catherine Narducci. It is being directed by Barry Levinson, who made Bugsy back in the 90s, and it's written by Nicholas Pileggi, co-writer of Goodfellas and Casino. The story centers around the true life history of gangsters Vito Genovese and Frank Costello, rivals who ran crime families in the mid-20th century, with Genovese attempting to assassinate Costello. There is definitely room here for a great film. I mean, the names attached have some great films in their CV. If it was 30 years ago, I'd be really excited. But you just never know these days if a crime film is going to be good, no matter who is attached to the project. But what was interesting about this film was that there was news that Robert De Niro would be playing both lead roles, Vito Genovese and Frank Costello. That sounds really weird. Like, how would that even work? Would Costello and Genovese look similar in the film because they're simply played by the same actors? What would even be the point? It's not like the Craze movie, Legend, where Tom Hardy played both twins. There's literally no reason for De Niro to play both roles. The only thing I could really think of was that if it was going to be some kind of artistic, dreamlike interpretation of the events, some arty-farty story where it makes sense that De Niro would play both characters. But that doesn't really sound like a story Pileggi would write. A lot of people wrote it off as a marketing stunt or maybe a mistake from the media, but it turns out that is not the case, as we have confirmation from De Niro himself that he was indeed playing both roles. I caught this little extract from a PR interview De Niro did for another film, and he was asked about his favourite movie of his own, and he had something interesting to say about Wise Guys.
It's different with me because I'm very critical of myself. So I put a lot of work into Raging Bull, obviously. I just did a movie actually with Barry Levinson where I played 2 parts, 2 characters, and we have scenes together. So that's interesting. I don't say if it's my favorite, but I'm very curious. What I saw, those 2 scenes we have are pretty interesting and work pretty well. That's it. It's not my favorite, but I'm proud of what I did in it.
he's so good of an actor. He's like, I want to act with myself.
I know. It just happened.
So it's true. How strange. Robert De Niro will play both Frank Costello and Vito Genovese in Barry Levinson's upcoming Wise Guys. I mean, I'd be more than happy to see De Niro play Genovese or Costello, but to play both in the same film? I still don't quite get it. Why not dust off Al Pacino for another outing or something? Do you think it's a good idea? How do you think it's going to work? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.